busyness does not equal progress.
Wow.
That's a mindset shift that has to change for us here, especially in Western culture.
Yes.
We think that busyness equals progression, it equals productivity. We have to give ourselves permission. I'll say that. We have to give ourselves permission to slow down. Permission to say, look, yes, this person matters, that situation matters, that deadline matters, but I matter too. So instead of saying that everybody else matters and I don't matter, we need to shift the thinking and say, how do I include me in the list of priorities?
Come on. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to another episode of You Are You Unapologetically, the podcast where we celebrate your journey and remind you to show up in your life, show up in your calling and in your relationships. We remind you to show up fully and authentically, but most of all, show up unapologetically because you are you. All right. So for today, we're going to talk about how to find clarity, balance, and purpose when life feels overwhelming. Let me ask you something. Are you ready? No, that's not the question. Here's the question. Have you ever felt like everything in your life is urgent? Everything in your life needs your undivided attention. Have you ever? Your career needs you. Your family needs you. Your faith needs you. Yes. Have you ever? Your responsibilities need you. Your inbox need you. Yes. And somewhere in the middle of meeting everyone else's expectations, you start losing clarity about what actually matters. You're moving nonstop, busy, being busy, being busy, being busy, being busy, being busy. You're moving, but you feel stuck. You're productive, but you're depleted. You're showing up, but not fully present because you are not fully aligned. This episode, my friend, no, it's not about doing more. Not at all. So don't get it twisted. It's about pausing, stopping, pausing. That's what it's about. Because sometimes overwhelm isn't a scheduling problem. No, it's an alignment problem. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? It's an alignment problem. And today we're talking about how to find clarity, balance, and purpose when life feels heavy, chaotic, crazy, or cray-cray, or out of sync. That's what we're talking about. Because so many people are silently overwhelmed. They're quiet about it. They're not telling anyone about their feeling overwhelmed. They're keeping it to themselves. They look successful on the outside, but internally, they feel scattered because they are all over the place. They're busy, but not fulfilled. They're surviving, but not living intentionally, which of course I call living abundantly. They're not doing that. Overwhelm is not a personal failure. It's often a signal. I said a signal. A signal that something needs attention. A signal that something is out of alignment. A signal that your body is worn out. A signal that your soul is tired. And today, we're creating space to breathe. Yes. To reflect. And most of all, to realign. Because clarity changes everything. Yes. When you have clarity, when I have clarity, when we have clarity, decisions become easier. They just do. Boundaries become healthier and purpose feels anchored. We feel like rooted in our purpose. We don't feel rushed. Not at all. Not at all. Okay, everyone. All right. So right now, I'm so excited because it's that time. It's that, I call it the phenomenal time, because you get to meet our phenomenal guests. And you guys hear me say it all the time that I find phenomenal people to be guests on our podcast. And our guest for this episode is exactly that. Phenomenal. Okay, whether you're leading in the boardroom, building a thriving business, guiding a congregation, advocating for your community, or creating order in your home, our guest understands the unique challenges encountered by women who hold leadership positions, often leave them feeling mentally, emotionally, and spiritually fragmented. Rooted in faith and guided by wisdom, our guests empower women in leadership to step boldly into the life they were designed to live, free from fear and imposter syndrome and anchored in purpose. Her work helps women operate with clarity, balance, and focus, resulting in stronger positioning for greater influence and impact. Through her coaching, speaking, and writing, she equips women to overcome internal barriers, integrate their values with their leadership, and lead with authenticity, distinction, and sustainable balance. Her message is clear and compelling. She reminds women they weren't created to hustle. They were designed to lead with peace, purpose, and power, even in uncertain times. Please help me to welcome Monifa Robinson. She is the CEO Within Your Reach Consulting Services, leadership and personal development coach. Please help me welcome her to You Are You Unapologetically podcast. Welcome. What a pleasure it is to have you here. Yay.
Thank you. Girl, I don't know if anybody has ever introduced me with that much life, girl. I mean, I need to bring you on the road.
Just love putting all of my energy and excitement in introducing people because I'm excited about them. And so I love like going into their bios and really like giving it all I have. And so you're so welcome. I get it all the time. They're like, oh my goodness, like you need to be with me all the time. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. But it is an amazing bio. And thank you so much for saying yes. Thank you for being our guest. But before we jump into this episode, the juicy part, because that's what I call it, the juicy part of this episode, I would love for you to share with our listeners how we met.
Sure. Oh gosh, yes. Okay. So I was actually searching online for a community that really had a purpose of bringing together Christ-centered believers with business individuals, entrepreneurs, and a community that really understood that faith is in business. Faith has to be integrated into business. And I found this community, the Nehemiah Project, online. And I met with the founder, Patrice, of the community. And he said, Monifa, you have to meet Dr. Kim. I said, okay, Patrice, well, let's meet Dr. Kim. and here we are again today, right? So yes, that's exactly how we met.
That is, and we and you got on my schedule. You reached out to my executive assistant, Eve Marie Zolo, and she put you on my schedule, and we connected. We got on a Zoom call and connected instantly. Yes. Love everything about you. Love how you show up in the world and all the things that you're doing. So thank you again, Monifa, for being here. Let's start with this. When someone feels overwhelmed, what are the first internal signs you notice that clarity and balance are missing?
Oh gosh. There are a few signs, right? So when I think about some of the signs that somebody might be exhibiting when some clarity and balance is missing, I tell my clients this all the time. Listen, is there a lot of chatter, mental chatter going on? Is there a lot of noise in your mind, right? Like, what's really going on? Because oftentimes when there's no clarity, that's because there's so many voices taking up space.
I love that.
And when you have voices taking up space and you're already confused and don't know what to do or what direction to go or what decision to make, it doesn't help, right? So definitely, if you find yourself feeling like there's just a lot of mental chatter, there's no room, maybe feeling scattered, right? Like you may feel scattered or easily irritated, like your temperament is a little bit shorter, right? When we're and there's a lot of problems, concerns, issues, challenges that you may be dealing with. When we're actually concerned about these things and they begin to feel overwhelming, a lot of times those are some signs that there's a concern with clarity and balance. And Dr. Kim, there's another one that I was thinking about, right? I call it decision fatigue, right? Difficulty making even the simplest decisions. Okay, and now I like to be transparent because I like people to know, like, this is real and this is why I help other women get through this, because these are some of the things that I've done to kind of get past it, right? I've experienced decision fatigue.
It sounds like something I had too, but go ahead.
I mean, to the point where there have been a couple of times I've gone to my nail tech, and she's like, "What color do you want today?" And I said, "You know what? I don't want to make no more decisions. I'm going to let you choose today."
Right.
Well, like whatever you choose, that's what it's going to be. Because I really am tired. I don't want to make any decisions, right? These are signs that you may be feeling overwhelmed, like beginning to become unbalanced, and so these are kind of things to look out for.
Absolutely. And I think that there are so many people who ignore those internal signals until burnout shows up, right?
Yes.
When they're in burnout, it forces them to pay attention. And sometimes when you're forced to pay attention, it may be a little bit too late. So
exactly. Yeah, because when you're forced to pay attention, when you're at the point of burnout, let me tell you, a vacation is not gonna fix it. I mean, it sounds good, and I'm not saying don't go, but don't come back expecting your world to have changed and now you are completely restored and refreshed. No, when you actually get to the point of burnout, it's more about consistent, intentional, small decisions. Decisions. And I say that because we're so intentional about so many things. We're so intentional about taking care of other people. We're so intentional about work, business, life.
Yeah.
But we often miss being intentional about taking care of ourselves, even when it's too late. Like, we're still running.
Yes.
We're still running on fumes.
Yes.
And expecting the vehicle to keep going. And get mad when it stops.
Because it's going to eat. Exactly.
Yes.
You know, many people feel busy but unfulfilled. So how do you help your clients distinguish between productivity and purpose? Productivity and purpose. Before we go further, I want to speak for just a moment to women who look strong on the outside, but deep down, she's tired. You may be doing well. You may be leading, building, showing up, holding everything together. And still, something in you knows this pace is costing me too much. That is exactly why I created For the Rest of Your Life. Yes, this is a membership for women who want sustainable success without losing their peace. It's not just about doing less. It's about learning a different way to live, a different way to lead, and a different way to become whole. We officially launch on April 16th, 2026. And if you join the waitlist before then, you will be invited in as a founding member. Yes, that means you'll have access to legacy pricing, a private pre-launch kickoff experience, community recognition as a founding member, and early access to the experience before the official launch. So, if you're ready for the support that honors the life you are actually living, scan the QR code. Scan the QR code that you see on the screen or click the link in the description and join the waitlist today. No, join before April 16th, 2026 and become a founding member.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, come on.
For when I talk to my clients, I really help them understand that productivity and purpose are different, because productivity to me is a way that you can measure outputs.
Yeah.
Like, we can check off the box. But purpose has more to do with alignment.
Yes.
Right? When you are aligned, there's something about being aligned, even, I'm not saying, finances aren't important, but there's something about being aligned, even if the finances aren't quite where you want them to be yet. Because you can be productive, you can have, the business could be booming. If you work in a regular job, 9-to-5 type position, work may be awesome. You may be promoted in many ways, but you can still feel a void. You can still feel empty.
Yeah, unfulfilled.
So it's really about, are we trying to just check off boxes? Or are we trying to really be aligned with purpose, right? And purpose has more meaning to it. With purpose, you have a different heart posture. The behavior behind it, changes. Like, it's not just an action. I'm not just feeding the hungry, right? There's a fire, and my heart posture is different. So that's how I help them really distinguish between the two.
Awesome, because that's powerful. Because I see being productive, like, if we're being productive without purpose, it feels like running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not going anywhere meaningful.
Exactly.
On that treadmill, right?
Yes.
That's how I thought of it. As you were speaking, that's what popped up. Okay. From your experience, how does faith and inner transformation play a role in restoring balance when life feels chaotic?
You know, when it comes to faith, and we, you know, I mentioned, you know, in terms of my core belief in Christ, right? I think we underestimate the power.
Yes.
And even with faith, I think some of us in our human tendency to still want to control and navigate, you know, be behind the steering wheel, right? We still try to control and make decisions on things. But when faith at its core is truly involved, and we talk about inner transformation, it also goes back to that heart posture that I mentioned.
Yes.
Right? It changes your internal posture. It takes you from striving personally to trusting, to surrendering.
Come on now.
It takes you from reacting,
come on,
to responding with intention.
Yes.
Right? So there's a component of faith, and it doesn't say, that doesn't mean that you don't do the work necessary, right? Because the word says faith without works is dead. But what it means is there's a component that says I can rest, right? I can take a moment to reflect. I can surrender the heaviness and the pressure to a power greater than me, who will continue to lead me. And that's what it's really all about anyway for me. I got to bring it all together. I can't leave him out of it, because it was for so long I tried to. Like, I have that story where I was like, if you want to talk about Jesus, we're going to talk over here. You want to talk about the business, we'll talk over here. But but there was always an internal conflict.
Yes.
No, but when I finally got on board and surrendered and allowed him to change my heart posture, things started changing. So that's what I would say.
I love it. Because, clarity, just doesn't come from, us planning and making plans or anything like that. Clarity really comes, and you said it, from alignment with God and with the God who created you.
Yes.
And here's the other part. He created you to be, right? Like, you want that alignment to what he created you to be, not just the fact that he created you, because we all have a purpose, right?
Right.
So, no, I appreciate that. So a lot of people think clarity requires like drastic decisions, quitting your job or changing everything. What are some practical ways people can begin creating clarity without making drastic life changes?
I would say sometimes before you even make a change, sometimes just pause.
Yes.
Sometimes I get it. We're part of this rat race. Yes. And if we're not careful, we'll go until we can't go anymore. Exactly. And so when we talk about making changes and just some practical things we can do before doing the next thing, just pause.
Yeah.
Just pause. Like you're watching a movie and you want to get up and go get some water out of the kitchen, but you don't want to miss nothing. Pause.
Yeah.
Run to the kitchen. And then go back to the sofa or the bedroom, wherever you're watching your show, right? And continue. So I think oftentimes pausing, I would say, should be the first step.
Yes.
Because when you pause, you give yourself time to settle. Yes. Your emotions can settle down a little bit. And then you can think about small, intentional changes that you can make. So no, it doesn't have to be, I want to start the business, let me quit my job tomorrow.
Right.
Maybe it's, I want to start the business, let me think about what that looks like. Let me go ahead and start creating a strategy. Let me consult with someone. Let me go look into, if I need a loan, what that looks like. Here's the other thing, we overdo it. we're overcommitted.
Yes. Yes.
We are overcommitted.
I hear you.
So sometimes we need to say no. Let's reduce our commitment. Like, what did I say? No is a complete sentence.
Yes.
And if you feel that sounds too rude, I tell my clients, just say, unfortunately, I'm not able to do so at this time. Yes. If you think saying no is rude, right?
No period, right? I don't see no period.
Right. So,
like, okay, I'll give you a complete sentence.
Yes. So really, let's look at what we're committing ourselves to.
Yes.
And understand we're only human, and take some tasks off the plate.
Yes.
Take it off the plate. I would also say, look at your life. This is one huge thing I tell my clients. What season are you in life?
Love it.
When you look at this, and you might be in different seasons in different areas of your life, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
But when you look at the season of your life, you're able to strategize according to that season.
Yes.
If you just had a baby yesterday, you might not be able to run off to Tahiti for the next 3 months without the baby and expect it. I mean, you could, but you know, it might be some confusion involved, right?
Right.
So what season are you in? When you get clarity on what season you're in, you'll be able to understand and strategize more strategically, be more strategic about your next steps.
Absolutely. So it's what you're saying, it's less about overhauling your life, and it's more about adjusting, or what you said, pausing, thinking about it, stopping. And I'm saying, adjusting your alignment to, like you said, in the season that you're in right now.
Yes.
No, I hear you clearly. I hear you. Yes. And I'm quite sure our listeners hear you clearly as well. So one of the biggest contributors to overwhelm is, and you said this, overcommitment. So thank you so much for sharing that. But let's talk about that a little bit more. How do you help people set boundaries without guilt? Right? Because like you said, not putting a task in place, like taking some task off of your plate because you may show up overcommitted. But how do you help individuals set boundaries without them feeling guilty? And, especially when they're used to putting everyone else first, right? Like they're last and they're always taking care of everyone else. Help us to understand, how can we initiate or set some boundaries in place, particularly for those women who carry guilt with them when they do it?
Well, one of the things that I say is it's really a mindset shift that has to take place. Oftentimes, I'm coaching them, so I'm not doing therapy, but because of my background, I do connect the emotional pieces with the practical and the spiritual, because I believe that all of it integrates and flows into each other, right? Yeah. So the mindset shift, we're helping them to identify and uncover where these belief systems coming from.
Exactly.
I think if we can uncover some of the core reasons why these thoughts exist, we can begin to challenge the thoughts and the belief systems that don't serve us well.
Yes, come on. I love that word, serve. I love it.
Right. It doesn't serve us well. And because when we operate from a system that doesn't serve us well, we have to remember we cannot realistically think that we can serve others well if we are operating in dysfunction.
That part, exactly. Yes.
So I think it's important to understand that this is like a map, right? Like we set the GPS, but even when you set the GPS, you're starting from somewhere.
Exactly.
And so you have to understand bits and pieces of the past, understand where you are in the present, and identify where you want to go so that we can now determine how do we strategize? How do we plan? What path and route are we going to take? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So that we can show up more fully for others, show up more fully for ourselves. Right? Ourselves. That's so important. And I think when we understand that the relationships that we have, the businesses that we run, the jobs that we go to every day are about relationships.
Come on now.
And it's about how we steward those relationships that matter.
Exactly.
When you steward relationships, when you steward your business, when you steward finances, whatever it is that's in your life, when you steward those things well, and you think about it as stewardship.
Come on.
Versus something to check off the list again.
Right.
Because that's what a lot of us are doing, even in our lives, checking off boxes. But when you change your mindset from checking a box to now, I want to steward this properly.
Right.
It forces you to do the work to make sure that you know how to steward properly.
Without the guilt,
exactly. And some people are not going to like it. I'm just going to be transparent. When you start changing and doing things a different way, they're like, well, we don't learn how to do the cha-cha-cha. Now you trying to do the electric slide. And I know I'm dating myself. I know I am. But but it's some people are going to fight back because they're used to routine. This is what you taught them.
And there are people that don't like change either.
Exactly. So, and it's different for you too. So this is going to be awkward because it's new for you as well. Yeah. But just because it's awkward, just because it's different, doesn't mean it's bad.
Right.
And remember, if you're trying to operate from a place of wholeness,
come on,
some changes have to be made.
Have to be.
Right. And even when we talk about faith and our belief system, God is not in the business of trying to make us feel guilty or condemning us. So we can automatically say right there, that's a work of the enemy.
Exactly.
Right. So, all of these things kind of work together, I believe, to move us from feeling guilty to operating with a different mindset.
Absolutely. Because that guilt piece, it is so real. It is real.
Yes.
And I think like so many people, they make mistakes or they mistake their boundaries for selfishness, right? They think because they're saying no, that they're selfish, right? Yes. When they're actually, and you said it, they are actually stewardship. Like, that's it. We're just gonna keep it plain and simple. So let me ask you, what mindset shift, because you talked about it, are necessary? What mindset shift are necessary to move from survival mode to intentional living? From survival mode, I gotta go. I'm doing it now. I gotta get this done. I'm busy, being busy. That's something I always say. Being busy. From that mode to intentional living, enjoying every day from the moment you wake up to the moment you lay down and go to sleep. Even when, there are things that, situations occur, right? Yeah. Being able to see the blessings or the good in things that did not show up being good. What mindset shifts are necessary?
Yeah, I think it goes back to a couple of the things that I mentioned. One, like busyness does not equal progress. Right. That's a mindset shift that has to change for us here, especially in Western culture.
Yes.
We think that busyness equals progression, it equals productivity.
Yes.
It doesn't.
And we walk around with a badge on like, I'm busy.
Exactly.
Busy. It's like, really?
Yeah. Yes. And it's like, we have to give ourselves permission. I'll say that. We have to give ourselves permission to slow down. Permission to say, look, yes, this person matters, that situation matters, that deadline matters, but I matter too.
Exactly.
So instead of saying that everybody else matters and I don't matter, we need to shift the thinking and say, how do I include me in the list of priorities?
Come on.
I'm not saying I'm not compassionate. I'm not saying, that I am not going to do X, Y, and Z. But what I am saying is that in all of this decision making, I need to make sure I'm on the list of what I will choose and how. That's important. So I think that mindset shift is what's needed. I think also one of the things is, like I mentioned, going from control to surrender and trust, which is so hard for us as humans. Because we like to have, I remember one time I was riding in a car with someone in the passenger seat. And you know how the driver's seat, you can lock the windows so nobody else can let their windows up and down, right? And I was in the passenger seat I told the driver, I said, can I please have some control? I literally said that. Goodness, I just want to let the window down, right?
Like, really?
But I think, in all seriousness, really being able to say, I believe that as long as I do my best to operate in alignment, as long as I do my best to follow his will for my life, right? That no matter what happens, ultimately, all of it is going to work out for my good, for his glory, and for those that are assigned to me.
Absolutely. Because survival mode keeps you reactive, right? And intentional living makes you proactive.
Right. And
that's exactly what I hear you saying.
Yeah. And when you're reactive, you don't have time you're not really thinking clearly. You just running around almost sometimes like a chicken with your head cut off. So being intentional and slowing down just for a moment, just to breathe.
I love it.
Just breathe.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Monifa, before we wrap up this session, I want to ask you something that is important. What advice would you give to someone who feels like they've tried to get organized? They tried to create balance and alignment. They tried to reset. And they're starting to believe that they're just not capable of consistency, and they're not capable of getting clarity.
I would say everybody's capable. Everybody has the capacity, right? That would be one seed that I would plant into them, right? Understanding that if they're feeling that way in the moment, they may not be able to truly embrace it, but I'm just planting the seed, right? So I do believe everybody has the capacity. But I would also say that if someone is feeling this way, I think it's important. A lot of times individuals that feel that way, they may be trying to hide how they really feel. Like they're trying to consistently show up. They don't really want people to know what they feel is a vulnerability or weakness. They want everyone to see their strength, but they're tired internally, right? I would say find someone that you can connect with that can help you along the journey.
Yes. And it's just like a support system, like,
oh yes,
like I was talking to a couple of people, and I was saying to them, as they were sharing with me what was going on with them, and I said, you need to implement a support system. And that's what I hear you saying here.
Yeah, it's important. Like, we cannot do this alone. I'm a coach and I have a coach.
That part.
Okay?
Yes, we have to.
Yes, even doctors need doctors. You can't perform your own surgeries. Sorry, sir. Sorry, ma'am.
Right.
Right. So it's important. I say that's key because oftentimes when one is wearing the mask,
Mm-hmm.
you're also dealing with loneliness.
Yes.
Then you have the fatigue, the overwhelm, the anxiety.
Yep.
Yes, the shame, the guilt, no clarity, feeling like, what's my purpose?
Yes.
Like, what's the point?
Yes.
Right? So I would say, first and foremost, remember you are not alone.
Yes, I love it.
Someone else out there, a lot of us, wink, wink,
Yep.
Out there, are or have been where you are.
Absolutely.
Right. So finding a support system and not just, I mean, you might have the girlfriend or the guy friend that you can just talk to about, but really structured support oftentimes is more so needed so that someone can walk with you, someone who has a drone, a vision, an eagle eye vision, who can look at things from a different angle, who's not just on the ground with you, right? Who can see and help you navigate the twists and the turns.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that would be important.
No, I think that is great because one of the things, when I'm speaking to people is, yes, look in your family, look at your friends, look at your colleagues, look at your boss, look at, and these may be people that you may not need support from them right then and there,
Yes.
right? But put them on your list. So
exactly.
when you look at your schedule and you say, oh my gosh, this is coming up and I need to make sure I get this right, I need to be here, then you look at your list and you look at those who you list that's on the list, and you identify one or two people from that list that are strong in that area, and those are the ones that you want to go to.
Yes.
To ask for, support in that space, because, everybody can't support you in all of the, like you said, seasons that you have in your life. You have to find the people who can support you in that season. I like to say space that you're in, and you find those people who can do that. So I definitely hear and get exactly what you're saying. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for sharing and giving the wisdom and the I call them wisdom nuggets that you have laid down for us. So here's what I would like you to do at this point, because of all of the juiciness that you shared, right? I definitely want our listeners to be able to connect with you if they so desire or wish. So will you be willing to share? How can someone connect with you? One of the listeners, and they may be like, oh my gosh, I need Monifa, right? Monifa, for my coach. I need her in my life. How can they connect with you?
I would say the easiest thing is to hop on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And look my name up, Monifa Robinson. Mm-hmm. And just connect with me there. And from there, we can schedule a free consultation.
Okay.
And talk more about what their needs are and how I can be part of the journey. Because I do offer both individual and group coaching sessions. If they even have a group that they need someone to speak at, I offer an opportunity to facilitate workshops and speak for them as well. But if they're interested in coaching or any type of service, the best way would be to go on LinkedIn, look me up, and go ahead and connect with me there, and we'll make sure we get you on the calendar.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being such an amazing guest and for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge and just allowing it just to drop and on us and how you poured into us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So on behalf of all of our listeners, we truly appreciate you being here. And we just want to say thank you a million times for sharing and being you. Thanks so much, my friend. Okay, you guys, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And wow, right? Monifa, what a wonderful, amazing human being. What a grounding conversation. And thank you for not only being amazing, but also for sharing your wisdom. Oh, so what is it that we are really trying to say here? I know Monifa said a lot. She shared a lot. And I just want to summarize, like put it in a, short and simple, right? If I may. Overwhelm is a signal, not a personal failure. Did you get that? Write it down. Productivity without purpose, it leads to depletion, and you will feel every bit of it. Faith and identity, see, that's what anchors clarity. That's what anchors your clarity. Small alignment shifts creates lasting balances. So balance, that is, but balances throughout your life. Small alignments. Doesn't have to be something huge. Boundaries, they're not selfishness. It's not selfishness. It's stewardship. Period. Intentional living, which I sometimes call living abundantly, requires internal realignment. We have to go in sometimes, you guys. Clarity just doesn't come from rushing. Not at all. It comes from pausing. So how about a pause? How about you pause? Come on. Let's pause. Here's what I want you to do after this episode. How about you identify just one area in your life that feels misaligned? Is it in your career? Is it in a relationship? Is it with a family member? Is it at church? I want you to search internally and externally. Ask yourself this: what value of mine is being ignored here in this space, in that area that you identified? What value of yours is being ignored? And I want you to make one small adjustment, just one small adjustment this week. So if it's in your career, for example, the value of you not being appreciated at work, right? Is that being ignored? And just make one small adjustment in that, so that you don't feel that you're the value or you're not being appreciated at work. Make a small adjustment that moves you towards alignment and not perfection. Okay? Because clarity is built through small, honest decisions. That's what clarity is built on. And that's what we want you to have. Clarity, balance, and purpose. All right. So we all know society's expectations, and there's constant noise when we are in this environment, right? And just allowing society's expectations to fall and land on us. It is easy to lose yourself when we do this. It's easy. But I need you to understand that you were never created to live overwhelmed and disconnected. Nope. That's not why, or you weren't. I was not created for that. You were created to be you, because you are you unapologetically. You were created to be who God created you to be. That's why. So when you slow down, pause, realign, and live intentionally, everything shifts. We just want to thank Monifa Robinson again, who shared her wisdom with us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to everyone listening, if this episode touched you in any kind of way, then I just need you to know you are blessed. And because you're blessed, we want you to share this episode with someone that needs to reset. Please share it. Now, go breathe. Realign and live intentionally. And as always, go be you unapologetically. Okay? All right. Ciao, ciao for now.